Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to show you how to make a super simple house drum beat in Ableton Live. And without further ado, let's get started. Oops, alright. So we're here in Ableton, so we're going to get out of session view by pressing tab. And we're going to go into the arrangement view. And this is a brand new empty track, so I went to File, New Live Set. So here we go. We're going to bring this over here, get our loop ready. We're just going to do a 2 bars, super simple, and turn the loop on. Why is it playing? Alright, there we go. So now we're on MIDI, so let's get a drum rack loaded. Go into drums and just drag and drop drum rack. That looks like this. So when you play it, it's right there. Now we need to find a good drum kit that we like. I like this one. It's pretty standard, simple. Kit Core 909. This one is given to you by Ableton, so works out good. So now you're going to highlight this whole area that you want to work in and go Command-Shift-M, and that will load up this little MIDI work table right here. And then here you go. This is all your little samples in MIDI. So yeah, we're gonna add something to the kit right here. Just go up to the next tab, like right here. This is where all these are loaded. These spaces are all taken up. So go up one. We're just gonna add a shaker. So you can just search shaker, and then go down to samples. I think I spelled it wrong. I did. There we go. That's perfect. And then just load that in E2. Make sure it fires. It's perfect. We don't really want to do any editing to it. Alright, so now let's start with the kick. So we're going to want the kick 4 to the floor. So pretty much just on every beat, all the way through. Alright, perfect. Now we're going to want the snare and the clap to be on every other kick. So kick 1, and then we'll have snare and clap. Kick 2, other one, snare and clap here. So now what we're going to do is we want the clap to hit a little bit before the snare. So let's put the snare in first. Not that much though. And we're going to zoom in a lot. And then let's right click and turn off the grid so it doesn't quantize. And just move it over just a tad. And then we can turn it back on so we can just go like this with the clap. And then we'll just hear how that sounds. Let's drag this out a little bit. There we go. Zoom back out. Maybe a little more. There we go. I like that. So now that we know we like that, we can zoom all the way back out and highlight all the way from where the next one's going to hit, which is every other kick, so we want it here. We highlighted that whole section, and we're going to press Command-D to duplicate. We're going to do that all the way through. Alright, so there we go. We have it all the way through. Let's listen to that. Okay, perfect. We might want to turn down the snare just a tad bit because it seems a little bit loud. Just a little bit, not much, just like right there. Maybe a little more. Alright. Alright, I like that. That sounds good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a hi-hat. We kind of want to add a hi-hat right before the snare and clap hit to give it some variation. So right about here is going to be probably sound really good. But if you could have it closed, but it's almost too fast for an open hi-hat, so I like this one. So you're going to highlight this section and duplicate that all the way through as well. And then right now, this is technically even more simple than what we are going for. This is like super simple house beat, but we're going to add a little more to it to make it sound a little fuller. Alright, so next we're going to add the shaker, and that's going to be on every single note that's possibly able to hit off of this, so it's constant and it fills everything in, but we're going to turn it down so it's not overwhelming. you can just highlight that and duplicate that. Oops, sorry. Yeah, highlight this. Hold on. There we go. Highlight that and then duplicate that all the way through. That one is a little loud, so we're just going to highlight all of them. And I know there is a shortcut to doing this, but just highlight all of them and then drag it down until it sounds right for you. This is personal preference. I like it right about there, so it's kind of in the background, but you can still hear it. Alright, next, I want to add a crash and ride on every bar. So I want the crash to be a little louder than, the crash to be a little louder than the ride. So just positioning it right there. So then every bar, there's bar 1 and then here's bar 2. Alright, cool. So hear how loud this is, but this is what you kind of get once we turn down the volume. So yeah, so now let's turn down the volume. We want the crash, did I say crash to be a little lower? Yeah, let's add the crash to be a little lower. See how that sounds, that's interesting. And then also turn down the ride, but not as much. Awesome, that's exactly what we want. So now just to add a little bit more variation in there, we got this half, it says hi-hat closed, but it's like a little more open than this. Okay, so we want that to hit right before the crash, right about here, and then we want the closed to hit right about here, and then work its way back up. Actually, sorry, highlight that and just drag it back one. So like right about there. So then it goes back up and then crashes. And then the same for the last bar, or last part of this bar, and then the crash is on 1. So you're going to go down here, super close hi-hat, and then middle hi-hat, and then open hi-hat. The next thing you could do, if you like the sound of that, that's completely fine. You can just loop that, duplicate it, whatever. But what you also could do is you could add a tambourine. I mean, I wasn't going to do this, but I'll change it up. I like this one, so we'll add that to F2. And then go back into our, go back into here. And it'll be at the top. So I'm going to add one on top of every hi-hat, open hi-hat. Just to give it a little more variation, and then 2 right before the crash. And then same goes for the next bar. And then 2 right at the end. So pretty much there you go. That's a super simple house drum beat that you can get done in Ableton Live. Like, subscribe, and there will be more videos. So thank you guys very much.